Good morning, friends. I am grateful that you have found your way to the Monday devotional for Grace Covenant family and friends. It's a blustery day, and so I hope that you can hear me okay. I'm using a little microphone, so hopefully it won't be too distracting, and also it won't pick up too much of the wind. Although I would love for you to enjoy the birds that are nearby. I've been thinking this weekend, as we had such an amazing weekend, right, with the beautiful weather and the amazing job that our youth did yesterday in worship. I read in the chat comments alongside the YouTube video as I followed along, so many of you talking about what hope and inspiration they give to us, and I could not agree more. They are amazing individuals. Somehow, too, they help us to see through some of the pettiness of what fills our world today, and to the very heart of matters. So I've been thinking about that and wanted to share a practice with you today. It might be something that's familiar to some of you. It comes out of the contemplative tradition. It's called the welcoming practice. You might also know of it as the welcoming prayer. It was developed by a woman named Mary Murakowski, and she was a student of Father Thomas Keating. And she describes the welcoming prayer as one that invites God to dismantle the emotional programs of false self-system and heal emotional wounds that we have stored in our body. So this prayer practice is one that might actually seem strange to you at first. It is essentially welcoming the discomforts, the pain, and the anger, the feeling lost in a discomfort zone and longing to be out of it quickly. And several people have written about this practice, including Richard Rohr, and someone who I've been reading lately that I really find just incredibly wise, and that is Cynthia Bourgeault. So I'm going to draw a little bit from what Cynthia has written and talked about in terms of the welcoming prayer. So she says, in the welcoming prayer, the energy normally bound up in identification is suddenly vitally freed, sometimes so dramatically that you almost hear a whoosh. And the influx of this new energy is immediately experienced as a deepening and vitalization of our innermost being. That sounds pretty heavy. But she recommends this as, she describes it as a form of centering prayer. And it's actually a companion, I guess, to centering prayer, and meant to dislodge us from habitually reacting to things that are uncomfortable for us. She says that using this prayer practice can help us move through challenges and painful experiences or times of disturbing emotion or anguish, and even moments where unhelpful control tendencies and self-inflation take us over. The practice of using this prayer helps us benefit by sort of recapturing some essential spiritual energy that otherwise would be lost as we are simply reacting to things. So I was thinking in these days when we are all kind of out of our comfort zone, we are having to sacrifice things that we normally would enjoy and do without thinking. I just visited my mother in South Carolina on Saturday, and it was excruciating not being able to come close to her and to hug her or kiss her. And so I've had some anger myself over that, and certainly some heart pain, and I've felt it in my body, in my back and in my shoulders, and frankly around my heart. So Cynthia talks about these feelings being captured and bottled up by our body, and that the welcoming prayer can help us release those things. So I hope that thinking more about this and practicing it, if you look this practice up online, you might look for the welcoming prayer, but Cynthia refers to it as the welcoming practice, because it is not something that we can master the first time or two. It really, really takes practice. And so this, the ideal time to do this would be, of course, as close as possible to whatever upsetting situation you might be facing. Even if this is not possible, though, you can turn to the practice as soon as you can. Initially, you might find that working through the 3 steps of this practice will take some time and some concentrated effort. But as your conscious awareness increases, the practice can be used really almost simultaneously while you are in the midst of some kind of troubling or challenging event or situation. So the welcoming prayer has 3 steps. The first step is known as focus or sinking in. This means to become aware and physically present to the particular experience or whatever it is that's upsetting. You are to bring your attention to what's happening, and especially to notice the sensations in your body without, analyzing or without judging your state of being. Just inwardly tune into what is happening just in your physical being. Don't try to change anything at this stage. Just kind of stay present with that. And this will help to avoid drawing some mental, cognitive conclusion. And it'll also help you ground your body in the experience rather than pushing it down, which is what we're more accustomed to doing. But by engaging in this awareness, in this sensation, time and again, it can help us become more attentive to those moments of unconscious, just reacting. So that first stage is focusing, just letting things sink in. The second stage of this prayer practice is about welcome. And it's about lightly naming the response that's being triggered by whatever difficult situation, fear, or anger, or pain, frustration, and acknowledging the response as sensation and recognizing it in the moment. If the experience is not being rejected or repressed, then it can be endured. I think about how many times I have not realized how my body was holding frustration or pain or fear, anger, until I lay down and I feel my body, my tense body relax, and I breathe in. It's not until then that I realized that I was even holding all of that. So by welcoming, we can create an atmosphere of inner hospitality. Again, this takes practice. But by embracing the thing you once defended yourself against or ran from, you are actually disarming it. I mean, removing the power of it, removing its power to hurt you or chase you back to your smaller self. This is the words of Cynthia. So this flow of energy can almost immediately shift, and you can become more spacious, so that a more positive response can emerge. So the final stage in this practice is transitioning to a letting go. This is where the intensity can recede. And this enables a natural fluidity of sensation to come and go. To come and go. In the classic welcoming practice methodology, there are then these 4 statements that you can recite to yourself at this stage. Bear with me, okay? This is hard. I let go of my desire for security and survival. I let go of my desire for esteem and affection. I let go of my desire for power and control. I let go of my desire to change the situation. It's not a formal, final, okay, now you're all better kind of an experience. I mean, we're still will probably hold anger or fear or pain or frustration, but it's a way of us simply acknowledging it so that we might kind of help it along its way. So, if you are interested in a deeper practice of this, you can Google practicing prayer, welcoming prayer, welcoming prayer or welcoming practice. As I thought about these questions, the one that has stuck with me, these statements, the one that has stuck with me the most was my desire for power and control. On Saturday, I wanted to step over the boundary of us trying to be safe and I wanted to control that situation so that I could hold my mother. And I did feel it in my body. I'm sure that many of you can probably relate to this. So I hope that you might explore this practice, and I hope that in these days to come, as we continue to stay home and stay safe for the sake of not ourselves, but for the sake of those we love, maybe those we don't even know, but those who are also beloved to God and to others. So, with the sound of the birds, I hope that you will enjoy the rest of this day. Bundle up, it's a little chilly. Enjoy the day, and remember that you are not alone.